So this morning I was out walking my dog Remy and I remembered that I had a gym class this evening, and immediately they didn't want to go. And this has got me thinking about motivation, and I wanted to share a little technique with you that I hope you'll find useful. So there's loads of things that we feel like we should be doing, right? Or that would be good for us, or maybe we actually really want to do it. And we kind of have this idea that like you set an intention and then the motivation will build up and you'll feel like doing it, and then you go and do the thing. And it could be writing an essay, it could be playing guitar, it could be going to the gym. But it doesn't really work that way. Unless it's pain. Pain's actually a really good motivator because it's really uncomfortable and you can't ignore it. You know, like say you're hiking and you notice you've got a stone in your shoe. You should probably stop and take it out, but you don't, and you like plod on a little bit longer and it really starts to rub, and then eventually unlace your boot and knock the stone out and you've got a big blister. So yes, pain can motivate us to do things, but for everything else we're kind of doing it the wrong way around. And there's an interesting thing to understand here, that there actually isn't such a thing as multitasking. There's only really task switching. When we feel like we're multitasking, it's probably that one of those things is on autopilot. So I can talk and I can drive at the same time, but as soon as someone slams their brakes on in front of me, I'm immediately going to stop talking because all of my attention has gone to the car. And our brains don't love task switching. There's a cost involved, this sort of mental load shifting from one thing to another. And if you've got kids or have done babysitting, you know this from bath time, right? Come on, stop playing with your toys and get in the bath. No, I don't want to get in the bath. And then 15 minutes later, they're sort of happily splashing around. And you're like, right, come on, get out of the bath, we'll have a story. And they're, no, I want to stay in the bath, right? There's this mental inertia when we've settled into a particular task, which is quite difficult to overcome. But we can actually use that to our advantage. So we actually need to flip this over and stop expecting action to follow motivation, because it's really the other way around. Don't wait until you're in the mood to do something, right? Or until you feel like doing something. Just get started and expect there to be resistance. That resistance isn't a sign that you're broken or that you don't really want to do the thing. It's just that kind of mental inertia while your brain switches modes. Now, when I've heard other people talk about this, they usually go a bit like Jocko Willink and say, it's all about discipline, and like discipline has a place. The other thing I often hear is that just get started and you'll see the benefits, and then that will motivate you to keep going. Which again, like makes sense, but at least in my experience, I found motivation really like ebbs and flows. I've been to the gym loads of times, right? And even though I've seen the benefits, even though I feel good afterwards, I still don't really want to do it. So how do we turn doing a task into a habit, into kind of an integrated part of who we feel we are as a person? And this is where the technique I wanted to share with you comes in. It's called the 4-minute rule. And it's a little game that we can play, right? That you just commit to doing the first 4 minutes of any given task. That's it, just 4 minutes. So let's say it's cycling. I want to do more cycling. What does the first 4 minutes of that look like? Well, it's putting your cycling shorts on, finding a water bottle, getting a helmet, getting the bike out of the shed. 4 minutes later, you're sat on your bike outside the house. If at that point you really don't want to go, that's fine. That's what we agreed to. Put the bike away, go do something else. But I'm willing to bet that you will. Now, it might seem a bit silly to be kind of tricking yourself in this way, but it does work. It's kind of like reparenting, right? It's being that nurturing parent who just kind of gives you a push in the right direction. So just get started and expect that resistance. If it was writing an essay, sit down, start typing. The first 2,000 words can be complete garbage, but it gives you that opportunity to settle in. So a couple of bonus tips. Number one is crafting your environment, right? Making things as easy as possible for you, as frictionless as possible. So we're not relying on motivation or discipline or like giving ourselves a pep talk every time. So if you want to start running, leave your running shoes and your shorts by your bed. So the first thing you see in the morning when you wake up is those clothes, and you'll just on autopilot put them on. Off you go. Bonus tip number 2 is having a plan. So research has shown that people who anticipate the barriers that they might face beforehand and come up with strategies to mitigate those are usually much more successful. So when I crave a cigarette, I will phone my friend Joe or go on a walk or have a mint, right? Don't expect yourself to creatively problem solve when you're stressed out, because it's really difficult to do. So tonight, I'm just gonna get in the car and I'll grumble and I'll wish I was at home playing Xbox, but 15 minutes later, I'll be in gym mode and I'll feel really pumped for getting sweaty and I'll feel proud of myself for acting like a grown up. And then tomorrow, I'll wake up and I'll forget all of that and we can start this whole thing all over again. So what's one thing that you've been putting off until you kind of feel like doing it? Try out this 4-minute rule trick and let me know how you get on.